Yo, Pete, what's up, man? I just right before I started streaming, I just did this. Oh, that sounds really cool. It's kind of cool. It's really like, it's really just like a, it's like a A, it's like an A with an E in the bass. There's this really cool, I stole that from like, this kind of, let's say, if you do some kind of ending blues lick. Wait, I think I'm in two different keys doing that. But like, this little thing being like a power chord of a D. So that would be a D. And if you just go, that's really like an A. It's really like an A major with the third in the bass. I always love that shape. So then we're going to like, this is like an A major, but call it like it's like a D major over an A. Well, if I'm doing this, yeah, that's like the third of the A major. It's a C sharp. A, B, C sharp. A sus fourth. I think all fourths are a sus, really. If I did this, that would be a sus. That's a sus 4. So I'm off on a Saturday night. Yeah, I want to do check my levels here. I can see where my levels are. After streaming last time, I felt like I was a little bit quiet. I was afraid of peaking and getting some bad sounds. Oh, no, you're good, man. Of course. Thanks for hanging out, man. So I'm just off on a Saturday night, and I thought I would come on, do a little streaming, talk about what I've been doing the past week or so. I streamed, I think it was last week, last Thursday. I was happy to hit 250 subscribers, and now I think I'm at 277. So that's good. See stuff going up. I don't really feel like singing tonight. I'm just going to play around, strum around a little bit, play some harmonica. I just started messing with that. Like literally, I picked up the guitar and just did that. I thought that sounded cool. I don't know if I'd ever turn that into a song, but it's fun to play. That's how I would basically typically write a song. I would just mess around. I mean, I like that rhythm. Got some nice syncopation to it. And then if I could play it and sing it at the same time, I would try to just sing some kind of melody over it. Which already is really hard to, in the beginning, something that's really syncopated like that, to try to think about singing on top of it. Yeah, something like that. No, I'd have to go. Something with all that. I don't know. It's something cool. Or maybe it's not. I can't ever tell in the moment if something's cool or not. It is a Barbara Nesbitt shirt. I can't remember if you were there. I saw her last year, I think. Is that when it was? I saw her at Stockley Garden. I think it was last year, probably like last October or something. She's amazing. She has such a really, really beautiful voice, and she sounded amazing live. We got a rainy day here in Virginia. I saw that, some people are getting canceled for gigs tonight, not for things that they say, but canceled for gigs. All right, played around a little guitar. So let's see. What has been going on? Today is Saturday, so last Friday I got to play with the band, play with the Attractors. Got to play some electric guitar. That was fun. Buddy Jabu did sound. We played at this place called Taste out on Shore Drive. It was actually that day that we had the smoke coming through. That's where you saw it at church. Yeah. But yeah, that smoke, and some people, same thing last Friday. Some people were canceling gigs because we had that Canada smoke here, and we kind of lucked out. I went outside like in the afternoon, and I could smell the smoke and I could see the haze. But then luckily my gig was at 5:30. We got there around 4, and I could still see the haze, but we couldn't smell it. So it turned out to be fine. Weather wasn't too bad. Had a decent crowd. I'm sure that it affected some of the people coming. But that was a fun gig. I got a couple more gigs with the Attractors coming up in August. In fact, I'm not incredibly booked out in August, which I'm not too upset about, because I decided this year that I don't want to play as much in the 95-degree weather outside. So, but I got some fun gigs with them coming up next month. So Saturday, I just got back from doing a little tour with the tribute band I play with. We were out in Iowa. Let's see, today's Saturday. I got back on Thursday. All right, what happened? So I played the gig last Friday at Taste, and that was over at 8. And then I had to fly out to Iowa. I had a flight at 6 in the morning on Saturday. And luckily it wasn't, the airport to the gig was only like an hour, 15 minutes or something. But, you know, those are always fun days. You get about 2 hours of sleep and then go fly somewhere. But I'm not complaining at all. I absolutely love it. And that was an interesting gig. This is a Martin HD28 that I decided to drop the money on last year, and I absolutely love everything about it. What helped me pull the trigger was that at the time, a mutual friend of ours was working at Guitar Center, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but if you work at Guitar Center once a month, you get a coupon for 20% off, and you can use it with like friends and family. And so he hooked me up with his coupon, which, like I say, helped me pull the trigger on this, which these are not cheap guitars. So that 20% off saved me like $500. And then I think I bought it early last year. And because it was so expensive, I'm like, man, I don't want it to leave the house, you know. And then I found myself, I'm like barely playing it. But then what really sold it on me, I'm pretty sure I was at home and I was setting up my PA for something. Maybe I just wanted to hear what it sounded like through the PA. And I did it, and it sounded fucking amazing. And I just like, I couldn't go back to anything else. So, I mean, it sounds so good just acoustically. It's got this LR Baggs pickup system in it, which just sounds amazing. It's actually got a ton of low end. I mean, I'm not familiar enough with Martins to know if they all do, but it's something like when I play through a PA or plug it in, I kind of have to tame that low end because it's got, which isn't really, you know, I think any acoustic for the most part is going to have plenty of treble. So it's really cool that it's got that bass side covered. So I end up like taking some of the bass out to kind of even it out. So I think, you know, on these higher end guitars, man, they put, everything is on the inside, you know. There's no you know, like electronics on the outside, like some models. So everything you want to do, there's a little volume control in here, and see that on camera a little bit. Volume control, and it's got different mics inside of it, like a bridge mic, and so you can kind of blend these together. And so that's really good, I think, because it doesn't compromise the sound by, like, you know, cutting some kind of hole in here. What I found, though, is like, man, because you can see it there, the white, because of this sticking out, you can't really put a sound hole cover in here. So if you're getting feedback, but what they did, though, to try to help with that, this pickup does have a phase switch in it. That actually really does help. I found, because, you know, acoustic tends to get that like crazy low end feedback thing that sounds like your guitar is going to explode or something. It's not, it's this weird kind of thing. It's really different than some, you know, distorted electric amp or something. But if you flip the phase, it can help just even out that bass. Unless you're just getting, you're just crazy too loud to your speaker. But so that's cool. So the Iowa gig, we played in a casino, and that is, I think, the second time that I've played in a casino. And man, I love my life as a musician, and I'm not complaining by any means. I'm just gonna, uh, you know, give a slightly honest opinion about what it was like. It was super fun. The gig, there's a nice attendance, but let me back up. So the first casino I played at was the Mohegan Sun Arena, and that was like in May, I think. And that place is unbelievable. And that's the biggest gig I've ever done. The venue, it was like 7,000 people. And for certain shows, the venue, I mean, it's an arena. It can hold more people than that. But that was super cool. Like, backstage at a lot of these venues, a lot of times on the like the white concrete walls, those the concrete walls that are like painted white. A lot of the people that come through, they'll like stencil up their logo and they might sign it or something like that. So this place, Mohegan Sun, the walls are just covered. I mean, everyone from like Bon Jovi, Billy Joel, just like anyone you can think of has played there. So it's pretty cool to walk around back there and you see all these, amazing names and get to play the same place. And that place was just, it was huge. It was like a little city in there. I mean, to walk from I mean, it had like, separate wings and everything. And the amount of, it was a casino. So the amount of games that it had it was just insane. I mean, you'd get lost walking around. And just to get up to my hotel room to the stage was like, I don't know, a 10-minute walk or something, which might not sound crazy, but when you're tired, you do so much walking at these gigs. And so a day like that, I don't know, maybe I got 15,000 steps, and maybe you're someone who gets that every day, but I'm not. That's a lot. Um, you get all this adrenaline going. And so anyway, that's the backstory of that casino. Was amazing. It was beautiful. It was clean. It was just, ritzy place. So the casino that we just played in Iowa was not like that. It was a little grim, and I'll say the only good thing was that it was less walking because it wasn't like a giant city like Mohegan Sun was. Um, but it was a smoking casino. So man, like as soon as we walked in the doors, it's like the cigarette smoke hits you, and luckily, that you couldn't like smoke in the hotel rooms or something. I mean, they were all connected, the hotel rooms and the casino, but um, so at least I couldn't smell smoke in there. But it was a very different experience playing in the Iowa casino, and it was definitely well, I don't say definitely, but it seemed like it was run by like Native Americans, which uh, I know is a thing. Everybody was super nice there. I got kind of sick of eating. I mean, free food is great. They gave us these food vouchers and got to eat free food, but I ate in their cafeteria place like 5 times. I think the food was decent. The food was decent, but it was nice to get a break and get something else. Not much out there. It's funny, in our hotel room, look out the window and it's just like fields of soybeans and corn. So yeah, Iowa's it's really beautiful. It's a lot of fields and corn. And then after that, we were there a couple of days, and we went to another part of Iowa, like 2 hours away or something. And that was a much smaller venue, but it was really cool. It was at this art center, and it was this really beautiful area, really pretty around it. I got to hang out there all day and sat outside for a while. Man, when we were there, just like here, when we got there, it was like upper 90s, and one day it was 100 degrees, but then it went from like 100 degrees. The next day it was like 78, so that was great. So we went to the other place. Like the weather was like really nice, and little art center there. They had some cool art. Got to check out, but and then so I love touring. I love getting out and seeing the world. And I did end up, I think, doing the longest drive of my life because I flew in there and then I rode back with the crew and some of the other band members. And we left. I mean, there's an hour difference. They're an hour behind us. We left. We left Wednesday around noon, and I got home Thursday at like 4 p.m. And the only major stop that we did was we stopped and ate dinner in Peoria, Illinois. I mean, we made stops. You have to stop a lot for gas and whatever. But so yeah, I was in a car. There's like about a 27-hour, basically nonstop trip. And like I say, I'm not complaining. I love getting to go around, see things, do things. But, the more you do things like that, it's like, man, that's the job. The work is not showing up and playing. That's the reward, man. I feel like it's just the same thing, playing around town, setting up, breaking down. That's the work. The playing is the fun part. So, and that's just a more extreme version of, what you have to go through to get to do some cool things sometimes. Some reason I was just playing that. I love that thing on acoustic. I mean, first off, like, why are little 3-chord bluesy things just so fun to play? And I feel like, man, I mess around with blues. By no means am I some master at it. I didn't even really start digging into it till I've been playing for many years. But this thing of like, especially on acoustic, when you're in the key of E, the way you can keep these chords so full sounding because you can let all these strings on the outside ring out. I could add some more notes. Which gives it kind of more of a minor sound. But also going to this, when you go like to this A7, you can do a similar kind of thing where you can leave a lot of open strings ringing. So basically I got the A, the open G, and the E all ringing out that whole time. I stole that from Robin Ford. Really just chromatic. There's I think in Pride and Joy, he goes, Stevie does a O, he does a G. And I remember learning that years and years ago, and I'm like, oh. But I saw Robin Ford one time. He goes to that 4, that major note. Which is definitely something that's so fun about the blues. Like, you can, it doesn't really matter that much if you... I mean, the 4 sounds happier because it's major. But I love that it's like you can play either one, That to me is what's really fun about blues stuff. You can, the fact that you can just mix major and minor. And some people make it seem really easy to do that, but it's hard if you think about the theory of it. You get confused. It's like, as if you get too happy, mean, those are all like major notes. I'm like, it's kind of happy. That sounds a little bluesier there because hit this flat 7, minor third, go to the major third, minor third, major third. Da, da, ba, ba. Sounds like the Kinks' Gallon of Gas. It's funny, I saw a thing about the Kinks just today about, I've read before those brothers have this, they've like hated each other for a long time or something, but they were just saying, never say never to a reunion. And it's funny, I just heard this song by them, like, man, it was just like yesterday. I think it was called something like Destroyer. It was really interesting because the riff sounded almost exactly like All Day and All of the Night. But I mean, they wrote that song. So if they want to make another one of their songs have something similar to one of their own songs, they can do whatever they want. It was a really cool song. I mean, they're great. All right. So yeah, off on a Saturday night. I was off last night too, which is kind of rare to be off for 2 nights in a row, but I'm happy about it. Let's play a little harmonica. Got ourselves a Kongxing Sunrise in the key of C. I really love these harmonicas. They're really great. I almost always, like a lot of people, play harmonica in second position. Yeah, Paranoia Will Destroy You. Yeah, that's the song. That was really cool. I've been the past 2 days, man. I've been working on some really fun harmonica videos I'm going to be putting out there, some beginner lessons and stuff, and just teaching some things. And like I say, eventually I would love to get some harmonica folks together and do some live stream hangouts and chat about harmonica and anything we all might want to learn. And we can do blues on harmonica just like we can on guitar and combine those major and those minor things. And the way harmonica does it is really interesting. That's why everybody wants to play in what we call second position. Like, this is we beginners need help, hardest instrument ever. Yeah. It could be. I don't know. Maybe it is. All right, let's see. We'll get into that. Let's talk about just second position real quick, right? So this is a C harmonica. Most of the time, I'm going to pick this thing up and play it in the key of G. So why do we do that? Well, this is a diatonic harmonica in the key of C. And the way they lay these things out, when you're in the bottom, the left side, the lower notes, when we blow it, we get a C chord. Key of C, if you read that. Then when we draw on it, we get the 5 chord. So C, D, E, F, G. We get a G chord. So people discovered a long time ago that if you just treat that 5 chord like your home chord, you can do some really cool stuff. So that's the way most of us play it. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that we can, if you can bend notes, they really, really work out well in second position. You can do really cool things like get the minor third, which is something you do in blues all the time. You get a free dominant seventh note. So, like, if I'm playing a G chord, if I want to get a G7, a dominant 7 is just, we have a G, we can put an F in it, so we put a note that's a whole step below the root. Then we have a G7 chord, which even just by itself sounds like blues, right? So when we play in second position, we get that free F note, basically. If I start on the 2 draw is my G, I go 2, 3, 4, 5, all on the draw notes. That draw hole, number 5, is the flat 7. So it's like playing this way. Hey, what's up, buddy? Nova Scotia. How's it going, man? I have no idea what time it is there, but it is 8:32 p.m. right here on the East Coast of the United States. So yeah, we get that free flat 7 note. So, I mean, if you want to play bluesy stuff or anything minor, it's really hard in first position harmonica. Like if you want to play a song C, you know, in the key of C, well, all we have is these major notes. You know, you don't have this flat 7, the flat third. So if you play in second position, you can get these really cool, you know, this minor third, this flat 7. Let's see, where was I going with that? We're just talking about second position, why we do it. Especially like the 3 draw, on the 3 draw note, you can bend it, which is really fun. Yeah, great for Mixolydian, yeah, for sure. Like I was just saying on guitar, it's like, it's so funny, like as a guitar player and a harmonica player, that the two things, the way you play them and the notes you might do, I'm just kind of, you know, rambling here a little bit, but this just got me thinking that if I'm in G and I want to do this thing, basically this, it's the minor third to the major third, and then maybe I go to the root. We can do that on harmonica. Oh, you know what? This guitar is tuned on half a step. I forgot. That's what I want. Now it's going to match. So that's major third. Sorry, that's minor third, major third to the root. So if I bend that 3 down just a half step, these blue notes, as they call them, are just so great for getting blues, right? Now a lot of people can get that little minor third bend, but there's a note to me that I use all the time on harmonica that I don't really see a lot of people going for, which is the 2 draw whole step bend. And really, you know, hitting that note with confidence and treating it like a note, just like any other note on your harmonica. I mean, I use that all the time, and that's such a... How would I do that? Such a cool sound. And that 2 draw bent all the way down is the same as your 5 draw. Same notes. But I was saying earlier, what I was going to say earlier is it's funny. Some of these bluesy things you do on harmonica, mostly this thing, I would never do that on guitar. It's so weird. It sounds amazing on harmonica, but just those note choices, what you're doing there, again, I'm kind of in a weird key because I'm in like, it looks like I'm in A flat, but this is half step down. So really it's G. But those 2 notes, like I said, they sound so great on harmonica, but those are the 5th and the flat 7, which on guitar, you would never trill like that on guitar, really. You would do trills like, you would never go, I mean, sure you can, but it's just weird to me as a guitar player. I'm like, that's the notes that you're going to trill between. The other thing would be if you trill, those are holes like 4 and 5, doing that warble between those. You could do that on holes 3 and 4. And that's the 3rd and the 5th. So that would be, again, you just wouldn't really trill that on guitar. It sounds weird. What's my approach to improvising, like on harmonica? Well, I think improvising is a matter of like learning a ton of, however you want to think about it, learning a ton of licks. And then, I mean, it feels like maybe a cop-out answer, right? But it's like learning a bunch of licks and then stringing them together to the point that you're not really thinking about it. Now, improvising is amazing. It's so fun, right? The people that can improvise in the moment, like you see some band live, I don't care what instrument you're talking about. Let's say I mentioned Robin Ford earlier. Man, watch Robin Ford play live. You know he's improvising so much of his solos. He pretty much never seems lost. He never really seems behind the beat, no matter where he is on the guitar. If he's in E here, or if he's up here, he can just go wherever he wants. And I've heard guys like him talk about it. Well, the first thing that's a given is like, I know Ryan, you're kind of talking about, hey, they're new here. Hope all is well. Oh, thanks so much. Thanks for hanging out. I know you're talking about harmonica, Ryan. The first thing, right, is you have to, again, I'll come to harmonica, but like guitar has all these pentatonic scales, right? All these different places that I could play E. Like you need to know that like the back of your hand. So no matter where I am, I won't get lost. So same thing with harmonica. Let's say we're in second position. I need to know my scale notes, right? Back and forth. You can't have to think about it, which of course I still do. And all of us do. And like, I don't know, Ryan, if you ever mess around with like third position or something like that. And it's really fun, but it's challenging because it, puts your roots and things in different places. So if we just kind of start simple, talking about improvising, if I really know, let's say I just want to do something bluesy. I'm playing second position. Number one. Oh, that's right. You did say you play guitar. Yeah, that's awesome. Right? The first thing, we got to know where our notes are, right? Like what's our scale? What are our notes? Second position, most important note, 2-hole draw. That's one we're going to come back to. Let's just keep this in the blues realm. This is something I'm going to make a lesson on. Absolutely. I think this, gets overlooked by people is that, we're talking about improvising and playing. The thing with improvising is if you've ever watched videos of other people, they might talk about like playing through the changes and things like that. That's really difficult. And to me, the simplest thing that means is knowing where your roots are, right? So that's the start, right? So if I know, been playing for fun like 3 years, just practicing some chord heavy acoustic stuff. Do you know a single scale? Do not know a single scale. Yeah. Oh, you're a guitar player? That's cool. So just quick on the harmonica. So if I know my roots on my one chord, right? I got a C harmonica, I'm playing second position, key of G. That's my root, 2 draw. My other root is a 6 blow. Of course, we can go higher. We'll forget about that. The thing that I see a lot of people not really focusing on is if we're talking about 12-bar blues, to keep it simpler, we're talking about 3 chords. When we go to the 4 chord, right off the bat, do you know, like, where's your roots on the 4 chord, right? Chord tones. You got your 1 blow, your 4 blow. Same thing with your 5 chord. Where's your roots on that? So with something like really simple like that in mind, I'll just do like kind of a simple chug thing. And here's what I see people miss a lot, right? And I don't know if I'll do this well or anything, I'll improvise something. It might be total crap. But the really great players, by hitting chord tones, definitely the root, right? You're going to know where someone is, even if they're soloing and not playing chords. And I see people miss this a lot on harmonica when they're soloing over a blues. The biggest place is on the 5 chord. And partly because that's the hardest one to solo on, right? Or to play over on harmonica because, we can draw, blow that 6. Those all sound great, right? On the 5 chord. You get to the 4 chord, just blow out. In simplest terms. Any of those blow notes are going to sound great. Well, on the 5 chord, you need to be more careful with what you're playing. So really on the turnaround, right? And I see a lot of people, they just miss and they get to the turnaround, not emphasizing that 5 chord. And that, that it gives you, it's just a bit more of a, I don't want to say, just I don't know, more of a accomplished way of playing, I guess, to sort of just emphasize that 5 chord. So something to think about if you were to improvise over a blues, especially when you get to that turnaround. The 5 chord happens very little in a 12-bar blues, by the way, if you think about it. But that little turnaround, like, just lean on that. It's totally fine. So let me just do a little 12-bar blues. I'll try to kind of emphasize the chords, right? I want to go to the 4. Now here, right, I know the 5's coming. Well, what if I just stay on that 2? That's not a good note to stay on, right? I need to emphasize that 5 chord. So right there, I want to at least, the most basic thing I can do is go to the 1 draw or go to the 4 draw. So you're going to hear that I'm on the 5 chord now. And this is something, it's a small thing, but if you think about this when you're improvising, figure out like, okay, the 5 chord's coming. No matter where I am, I need to get to those notes, right? So let's see. I'll just go through something again. So, that wasn't the coolest thing in the world, but I think because I was kind of thinking about these chord tones, right, and thinking about where my roots are, you could hear the changes, right, when I went through that. A lot of players always go to four draw and four blow, but don't go to one, the one or the one. But yeah, I see a lot of, on harmonic in particular, I think like anything, man, improvising, I'll overthink things. Like I do have some friends who I really feel like can just flow, and I love when I can do that. But I get in my head. I'll think about theory, and I love theory, and I think sometimes I'll try to play, too sophisticated. Like the next most important note you can hit beside your root is if you know your thirds, right, where your thirds are. So when I'm on the one chord, I got my two draw. Let's say I do the three draw. That's the third. Well, you can do the third on the five chord, but you have to do a very specific bend. Right? You have to do the two draw half step bend. You can't go all the way down. So that can be like, a hip note to hit. It sounds, you have to be careful, depends on the kind of blues you're doing. It sounds kind of happy because it's a major third. But, shoot, I'm kind of wishing right now that this guitar was in standard. But something that's really fun about blues, and to me, though, even hitting that note is very sophisticated because you cannot hit that note on the one chord or on the four chord. It does not work, which is interesting that even though people want to call blues maybe simple because it's three chords, that note doesn't work. So because it's like, you get too deep into theory here. So if I'm in that two draw half step it's really a major seven of the one chord, right? So if this is that's my root. Well, I'll do it here. Sounds closer. If I go down a half step, then that's the major seven of the one. And that ain't bluesy at all. That's a beautiful chord. That's great. I love it, but that's not the blues. You got to play that dominant seven. So you got to avoid that note the whole time. But, so I'm playing my one, my four chord. But now on this chord, that note right there, it sounds great. And it still sounds bluesy because my five chord, I'm playing a dominant seventh. So I can play that note right there. So even something like that, if I'm improvising, right, and I'm on the five, maybe I can think about so that I was on that kind of one draw. Again, it's kind of a, it's a, in some ways it's, it's a little more sophisticated sound, like to, hit that third or something. So improvising, I'm thinking about, number one, it's like, right, getting past that point where you're just like, oh shit, I don't want to hit wrong notes. And of course I, think about that too. Too many much maths. Yeah. The funny thing is some of these guys who you think, I tell you what, even, these players who say they don't know how to read music, that's fine. And I believe people when they say that. I'm not a music reader. I don't sit there and read standard notation. I find theory interesting. So it interests me and I enjoy knowing it. But I mean, I just watched this Billy Joel interview. I think you posted that, Pete. And Billy said he doesn't read music, I think, to this day. But I guarantee you that Billy Joel, if you ask him to play a G major 7, that he knows how to do it, stuff like that. So improvising, yeah, man, it's like getting up a whole repertoire of licks and then putting all that stuff together. Ryan, man, I tell you, dude, I mean, I do the same stuff all the time. We all do, and we're all trying to break out of doing the same stuff all the time. But I think to go back to even playing simply, if you want to do bluesy stuff, which I know you really like, learn some really good turnarounds. I mean, this is such a classic turnaround, right? That's just two draw whole step bent to the one draw. You can do that all the time. That's the classic one to me. Like, that's the one. You can even go a 2 blow. Can't read a stitch, but I know chord tones and Nashville number system. Yeah. For sure. I just had to do a couple gigs on bass this year, doing this country stuff, and all the charts were written in the Nashville system, which I certainly know, and the reason they do that, right, is so you can change keys really easy, but at the same time, it's not like, as a guitar player, I don't sit around and play in the key of C sharp very often, or, I don't know, F sharp major. So, and you're like, oh, it's an F sharp, but it's a 1, 5, 6. It could get crazy. Like, oh yeah, it's a minor 7 flat 5 in the key of F sharp. On the sharp 5 chord. You're like, what the, So some of those chords, some of those charts, I'm like, no, let me just write the chords down, because some of these, like, I was doing this Dolly Parton thing, man. It was so much fun. I loved it, but holy crap, those traditional songs like that, they used to modulate all the time. And there's a song of hers, dun, 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 dun. Oh, what's it called? There you go, here you come again, here you come again. It's got, I don't even remember the chords, like, on guitar. I was playing bass. And it's got these, a decent amount of chord changes in it already, and it modulates twice in the song. Goes up a half step, goes up another half step. So when you're trying to sit there and read a chord chart, a number system, and it's like, okay, the people that can do that, I mean, I think like anything, man, if I did it all the time, played that way all the time, anybody would get better at it. But keep simple and build simple stuff, man. That to me is just the key right there, I mean, I do these licks all the time. I mean, I love the sound of that. I try not to overuse it in my playing, and I certainly do. I love that kind of sound, that tongue blocking thing. I don't know if you've gotten into doing that, Ryan, that flutter tongue thing. But I love that. Like I say, I try not to. It's equivalent to that warble, Leaving space is unbelievably difficult. You think it wouldn't be, and believe me, I struggle with that all the time. I'm not trying to throw my channel at you guys, but I just put up a live video on Thursday of my band playing a song. I just posted it like Thursday night, and it's got, I don't want to brag, but it's got like 18 views on it, so it's, it's kind of blowing up. Anyway, though, I'm kind of proud of that one, because I think I remember in the moment of, like, it was the start of the second set, and I turned the camera on, and I was thinking, like, don't overplay, And I really feel like that I did not on that. And, the solos I did, I was improvising, and it's like, I'm not the best soloist in the world, not the best anything in the world. But I think I did a pretty decent job on that, that recording of that song of like, okay, cool, I didn't overplay, you know. I kind of stayed within my realm of playing and just tried to not reach for too many things that are crazy. I mean, that's my problem when I personally I just get like, you know, you get bored of just playing the same things and the same licks all the time, right? So in the moment I'm just like, you know, I don't want to do this lick. I'm like, oh, in the moment I'm like, okay, I did dun, 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 dun. What if I go, and then you're like, oh crap, no, okay, now I hit that, and oh, I sort of got that, and then you try for something else and you miss it and you miss it. I mean, what can you do? You know, the people that it's truly amazing musicians who can just the people that can really honestly improvise in the moment, and you can't tell that they're improvising because they hit everything that they're going for. I mean, I think anything in music is I think it's just two things really. Everybody has a natural talent level for music, and then it's how hard you work, right? Um, you know, I've done teaching for years, some private lessons, and I mean, I just think like, do you think now there are true absolute savants, right? They're extremely rare, obviously. But do you think Beethoven didn't practice? I mean, really, think about it. He probably played more than just about anybody, you know, as much as anybody who's ever lived has ever played. So he had this unbelievable, you know, 0.0001% of talent that nobody is going to reach. Plus, he probably practiced more than anybody else. So those two things, right? So I think I don't know. I don't think I have any truly, you know, incredible natural talent. I think I just, for me, these two instruments in particular, I have been obsessed with since I picked them up. This one I picked up 31 years ago, and in 31 years, I think I've never gone. I took a trip to I took a trip out of the country a couple years ago, and well, even then, I found a guitar shop. This absolute, and I played like a total piece. Well, I was in Japan. I played something there. I don't know. I went like 10 days or 2 weeks or something without playing. I think that's probably the longest I've ever been in 31 years of playing guitar. This one, I've been playing for 11 years. I didn't start playing this until later in life. I kind of started playing this on a whim. But it was the same thing. When I started playing it at that time in my life, it was very helpful to me. And I just obsessed over it and played the crap out of it. Kind of rambling a bit now, talking about improvising and stuff. So, I was trying to how to even scroll up here. I'm not sure if you still left. Wait, let me go over to this. I've been talking a lot about harmonica stuff. Dirt XBC, you've been playing for fun like 3 years. Practicing some chord heavy acoustic stuff. Do not know a single scale. I don't know if you're still here or not. I mean, scales on guitar. It depends on what you want to play. If all you want to do is strum, and you want to be a singer-songwriter kind of person, you don't really need to know any scales. To me, the most useful scale on guitar is the minor pentatonic. Because that's also, like that was A minor, that's also C major pentatonic. So I kind of went back to A minor there on accident, right? But they're the same scale. That's really the good one to start with on acoustic, I think. And then learning these different positions. Learning how to play that pentatonic scale in like every position around the neck. The cool thing is we don't really have to worry about that on harmonica so much. Although the harmonica is, like Roz said, part of the reason it's so hard, one of the many reasons, the 3 octaves are completely different, right? Even just to play the major scale. To play that in the bottom, blow, draw, blow, bend, draw. Go to the next one, draw, bend, and then blow. And then the middle octave, blow, draw, blow, draw, blow, draw, draw, blow. That one's completely different. And then in the top, I probably can't even, I haven't been playing, I don't play the high end very often. I don't think I could. See, I didn't hit it. That was I needed a whole step bend, and I think I just did a half step. But you can bend that 10 and get down. Yes, practice makes a difference. You get what you put into it. Absolutely. All right, man. We've been going for, just about an hour here. Thank you guys for hanging out and, asking some questions. So let's see. What do we got coming up? Did some harmonica. Tomorrow tomorrow's gonna be a good day. I'm heading back out for another little, essentially this is a tour, but it's just one show, but I'm going out of town. Going down to North Carolina tomorrow. I have a show in Banner Elk, North Carolina, Monday night. Actually, it's like 2 shows. It's like kind of weird. They split us up to like these 2 1-hour set things. But leaving there at 11:30 in the morning tomorrow, driving up there, it's like 6 hours, 6.5 hours or something, which is not bad. So tomorrow's gonna be an easy day. Play the gig. I'll be back home like Tuesday, I think. So that'll be fun. But yeah, same. I'm OCD about the harp. I have 16 years harp, but off and on. Yeah. Yeah, man. When I started playing harp, I just got, I don't know why I'm even like this, right? It's the same thing I did with guitar. I got so obsessed with it. I just devoured it. And I watched like everything I could find on YouTube and all this stuff and just, got insane with it. And I went through, that's why it's been fun for me to make these new lesson series and, because, I went through all this stuff. Oh, my 2 draw doesn't work. And how do you play one note at a time? And, like, man, puckering, oh my God, tongue blocking is impossible, Yes, it's the ELO thing, yeah. Yep, be doing some bass with Evil Woman on Saturday night. But I am so excited that it's coming up in just a couple, it's 25th. It's in like 2 weeks or something. I'm going to be going to Spa for the first time. And that is the big harmonica convention. I'm super excited about that. I'm going to try to take a lot of footage, and my goal is maybe, this would kind of be a big undertaking, but I'd like to maybe, make a little documentary out of it, like I've done some of these other things. I think it'd be really cool. Maybe, I'll be posting some things while I'm there, but from what I've heard, it's like, they have all these it's a convention, but they have all these seminars and things like all throughout the day from like early until night. And apparently people it's in a hotel, by the way. And people just stay up like super late and there's these jams and all this kind of stuff. But I'm really excited because I'm actually, I'm playing a Kong Shing harmonica here. And I'm actually going with the Kong Shing team and I'm going to be staying with them. So that's going to be super fun, man. I'm going to get to learn a lot about them and hang out with them. And I really do like the harmonicas. I'm not just saying that. Ryan, I'm not sure if you've ever tried any of their stuff, but it's pretty cool. Like I say, this is a Sunrise. it's basically comparable to a marine band just because it has a wood comb. And the other one I really like is I want to get more of these. Is the Solist. Oh, sorry, the light's like so bright. Um, this one's just it's an aluminum comb, which man, I don't even. I mean, really, the other company I'm most familiar with is Hohner. I played Hohners for years. I don't even know if Hohner makes an aluminum comb. Um, they definitely have a plastic comb, but these Solists are really good. I'd like to get more of these Solists because they actually have a little more weight to them. I'm not saying that's good or bad. A little more weight to it than the Sunrise does. But man, this Solist right out of the box, and I can tell you right now, like I've tweaked this Sunrise, which is key of C, so I can try to, get the overblows. That 4 overblow is hard. So I can get the 4, 5, 6 overblow on this, and I had to tweak these a bit. And that's a C. This is an A flat, so it's lower, and it's harder for me just anyway to get the overblows on like 4 or 5. Anyway, all this to say, this Solist right out of the box, man, this 6 overblow is like super crisp. I mean, it just sounds like a regular note, and I didn't do anything to it. So if I do it on this one, I mean, I feel like I'm working a little bit harder to try to get that overblow to sound more natural. But man, on this Solist, that thing is just like sounds amazing. So that's really cool. So I'm super excited about Spa. That's going to be, it's like the second week in August, and I'm going to be there for about a week. And that's in St. Louis, Missouri, which is going to be very cool. And it's not too far. I looked it up. I'll probably have to take an Uber, but it's not too far from the Arch. So I'm going to have to take a day and go check out the Arch over there. I mean, there's going to be some really, really great players there for sure. All right. Got some new videos coming up. Started working on a new little harmonica series, which is cool. I'm going to keep doing the Harmonica Mondays, coming out every Monday. Got a new one coming out this Monday. Put out a little beginner one this Monday about doing some hand wah. Which I think sounds really awesome. I don't use it a ton, but it's such a cool sound once you know how to get it. It's funny. And I had somebody asking me, someone commented on my Instagram about the hand wah video, and they were talking about bending. And they didn't really follow up with me, but I told them, I was like, that when I'm doing that hand wah thing, that's not bending. They're really, completely separate things. All right, guys. So I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Good to see you, Pete, man. Hope we can hang out in real life soon. Ryan, thank you for stopping by from Canada. If anybody else stopped by, I really appreciate it. If you like my channel, I'd love it if you want to like and subscribe. Going to be posting, things that I find fun and interesting. A lot of harmonica content, a lot of just my life as a musician. So I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I'm not sure when I'll be doing these live streams, but when something fun comes around, I'll do one. All right, guys. Thank you so much. See you later.